Okay, let's try another rational inequality question. So let's say you have 2 over x minus 3 over x minus 4 is less than 0. Okay, so you might want to start by putting this all under the same denominator. So the lowest common denominator is probably these two multiplied together. So x times x minus 4. So what's missing in this fraction? 2 over x minus 4. We're missing an x minus 4 at the top, so let's write that in, x minus 4. And then minus 3 x times x minus 4. We're missing an x at the top, so let's write that in, 3x. Okay, so if we put this in the same denominator and expand this out, that's 2x minus 8 minus 3x all over x times x minus 4. And if we simplify that further, 2x minus 3x is negative x, and minus 8 over x times x minus 4. Now this is less than 0. So if we want to find, in the other video I was showing you guys how to find the zeros and asymptotes of this, because if you find the zeros and asymptotes, those indicate the places where the function may cross the x-axis. So let's make our number line. Ooh, oh, that's not a nice number line. Try again. Ah, that's better. Okay, so let's see. It's actually okay. So if the top equals 0, then this function will be 0, right? Because 0 over anything is equal to 0. So negative x minus 8 could be equal to 0, which means if we bring the x to the other side, x equals negative 8. So that could be one of the points we have. And also to find asymptotes, we look at which values in the denominator gives 0. So if we have x equals 0 in the denominator, so x cannot equal 0 because that's an asymptote, or x equals, well, x minus 4 cannot equal to 0, which means x cannot equal to positive 4. So we have x cannot equal to 0, x cannot equal to 4, those are your asymptotes, and your 0 is x cannot equal to negative 8. So let's have negative 8, 0, and 4. That's not to scale, by the way. Okay, so let's try a test point. Let's see. How about negative 10? So for your function 2 over x minus, actually no, let's just stick with this one. So negative 10, this is testing negative 10. Negative 10 minus 8 over negative 10 times negative 10 minus 4. Oh, so many negatives. Okay, I'm just going to skip a few steps. You know that this is positive 10 minus 8 will give you a positive number, right? That's plus 2. And at the bottom you have negative 10 times negative 14, so that's a negative. Oh, sorry, no, that's a positive because negative times a negative, right? Which will result in a positive. So this area is positive. Now let's try something in this area. So how about 1? Negative 1. So test negative 1. So negative 1 minus 8 over negative 1 times negative 1 minus 4. Negative 1 is positive 1. Minus 8 is negative 7, which will be a negative, over negative times a negative, right, negative 5, will be a positive. So this will result in a negative, right? Negative over a positive is a negative. So this area will be a negative. Let's try something from this area. How about x equals 1? So test 1. So negative 1 minus 8 over 1 and 1 minus 4. So negative 1 minus 8, that's a negative, over, here you have a positive times a negative, right? This is negative 3, so that will be a negative, which results in a positive. So this is a positive area. Let's try one last place. This is probably going to be negative, but let's try it to make sure. Test 5. So negative 5 minus 8 over 5 times 5 minus 4. Negative 5 minus 8 is negative 13. Negative for the numerator. 5 and 5 minus 4 is a positive. Positive times positive is a positive, which will result in a negative, right? Negative over positive is a negative. I'm sorry, I'm not doing this very numerically. It's more theoretical. Anyways, so you're looking for where the function is less than 0, right? So since 0 is not included, we can't actually use the 0 that we found. This function equals to 0 when x equals negative 8. And our non-permissible values, you can't use those anyways. So if you want this to be less than 0, you're looking at the negative area. So this area and this area. This area is between negative 8 and 0, while this area is anything above 4. So x is greater than 4. So yes, these are your answers. If you wanted an interval notation, that will be, let's bring these answers down here. What were they? Negative 8 is less than x, which is less than what? 0. And x could also be greater than 4. So an interval notation, oh, that's not nice. Let's change that. Greater than 4. Okay, interval notation. This could also be, so from negative 8 to 0, but not inclusive. So negative 8, use parentheses to show that negative 8 and 0 are not included. And this is, let's draw union with, x is greater than 4, so your minimum is 4. And this goes to positive infinity. And that is your answer. Hope you learned something. Thank you.